Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Nerdsmith subdrive. I am Rev. I am the host and the keeper of a actual play podcast called The Crit Show, where we play Monster of the Week, and that's what we're here to do tonight. So first, let's get a chance and introduce everybody. I guess let's go around, everybody turn and look at each other like the Brady Bunch. Let's start with, I was going to start with Tabby, but we'll save her for last, because I know she's got a couple things to talk about after her introduction. So let's go with Selena.
Hello, my real name is Gabby, but I am playing Selena tonight. I am part of Nerdsmith. You can find me on Countless Heroes as Seldana. You can find me on Twitter at Blabby_Gabby, and that's BLABBEY_GABBEY. Just had to preface that because no one can ever get that my name fucking right.
And what playbook are you playing tonight?
So I am playing the Monstrous. I am playing, as I said, Selena, who is a succubus, and she is very fun. I am very looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out with her.
All right, great. How about you, Marshall?
I'm Mike. I'm also part of the Nerdsmith network, creator, world builder, writer. I am not on social media. Lark has a Twitter page, but he doesn't use it very much. So. And I'm playing Marshall. He's a spooky character. He's young, but he's learned from one of the best, which is Harper.
Great, and we will get into that. And after we get everyone's introductions, we'll talk about everyone's connections. So what about Harper?
My name's Lucky. You can find me on Twitter at the Infamous Eel, and I'm currently working on a podcast, sort of banking up some episodes to be able to join Nerdsmith here pretty soon. Fingers crossed. That's Forlorn Hope Podcast or Forlorn Podcast on Twitter. And tonight I'll be playing Roland Harper. Are you catching any of this?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
wonderful.
we are.
Just making sure that it hadn't gone back to not being able to hear me. I'm playing Roland Harper, who's an expert. He's a paranormal investigator and dabbler in the occult.
Excellent. And Tabby?
Hi, I am Tessa. I am a director here at Nerdsmith. You can catch me on Twitter at Sucky Dreams. I'm on a variety of shows, including a Monster of the Week show called Alice in Underland, which I run with my child. That I have an episode that needs to go out sometime in the next week or so keep an eye out for that. I'm a little behind on my editing. It's almost like I edit a whole bunch of other stuff at the same time, but that's not important. I will be playing Tabitha/Tabby, the Crooked. She is a cat burglar of some renown, and very interested to see how all of this is going to happen tonight. So welcome you guys to another episode on the Nerdsmith Subdrive Mixer. We're really glad you guys are here. Rev, do you want to do connections, or do you want me to do my little spiel real quick?
Let's talk about why we're here and what will be going on this evening.
All right, so Rev has been generous and gracious enough to DM a game of Monster of the Week for us as part of our Subdrive Mixer, where we're taking a bunch of people from the RPG community, throwing them in a hat, mixing names together, and bringing you guys, our audience, a bunch of fun one-shots over the duration of our Subdrive, which started on April 16th and will go till April 30th. One of the main reasons we do this is because Nerdsmith loves to provide all of their content to you for free. We really, thank you. Saw that Rainbow Arch Wizard Matthew just subscribed. Big hearts. I have to push to talk, so I can't heart hands at the same time. But one of the reasons that we do this is because we want to be able to give back to our community and have a chance to have our audience tell our creators just if they were doing a good job and support them if possible. Our goal for all of our creators is to eventually, hopefully one day, make this their living while we can continue to create new and better shows for you guys to watch, all again for free. So what we do is once a year we come to you guys hat in hand and ask for a little bit of support in return. Currently, if you become a subscriber on nerdsmith.org/subdrive, you can join at a variety of tiers, our most popular being the Sidekick, which is $10 a month. If you join as a Sidekick, you will get a 2019 exclusive subscriber enamel pin. It looks really awesome. I have seen the mock-ups. I'm very excited about it. You get access to all of the bonus content from every show on our network. We have over, I believe, about 18 or 19 shows now. Over 30 pieces of bonus content up right now, as well as access to any of the bonus content that we've done in the past. And you'll also get 50% off of our nerd alerts, which are a shout out on our show. You can have a character or one of our hosts read a special message to another person out on the air. If you like us even more than the Sidekick, you can go for a champion subscription for $28 a month, which you'll get everything that the Sidekicks get, including a free nerd alert and a metal D20 from Die Hard Dice, which looks really good. I've seen a potential colorway that might be in the works for that, which is very lovely. You'll also receive a digital download of the 2019 Nerdsmith cookbook. A bunch of us from around the network have put together show-specific recipes to share with you guys, as curated by everybody's favorite chef, Pip from Countless Heroes. And of course, for those who want to go above and beyond, we do have our superstar level, which is $35 a month, which you'll get all of the stuff from the Sidekick and champion levels. And you'll also get a physical copy of the Nerdsmith cookbook, and as well as a physical Nerdsmith coffee mug, which hopefully the prototype will arrive in a couple of days here, and I will actually be able to show it off to you guys at some point on stream. But again, we can't do any of these amazing things without your support, and so it means the world to us if you guys go to nerdsmith.org/subdrive and become a subscriber today. We understand that $10, $20, and $35 a month is a lot. We also have a minion level of $5 a month, which gets you access to all of the bonus content. And if you can't do that, then if you could just get the word out and tell your friends and family about Nerdsmith and our subdrive, that would just absolutely mean the world to us. So thank you guys. We really, really appreciate you tuning in for our Mixer event, and hope you guys enjoy this episode. And I promise, one last thing, we are doing a giveaway for World Anvil, one of our amazing sponsors. So if you are interested in getting a free subscription to World Anvil, you should type !Hunter into the chat. And if we get 50 people concurrently viewing, we will do a Die Hard Dice giveaway. And now I will stop talking and let Rev get on with things.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, you're not going to stop talking yet, because I am going to ask you to describe, Monster of the Week. The way that this works, this is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. And so really all the player needs to play this game is they have a sheet of moves that everybody gets, and then they have a 2-page character sheet and 2d6. So on the character creation, you really just go down the line, and it's like, hey, pick 2 of these, pick 3 of these. Here are your options for what you might look like. Check 1. So let's go back around and have everybody, again, just reinforce their name, their playbook, and give us that little description blurb that they have of what they would look like if we came across them in a dark alley. And then let us know what your connections are to the other hunters in the group. So let's start with Tabby, since she's already warmed up.
All right. So Tabby the Crooked is a woman with smiling eyes and wearing a tailored suit. She's very put together in the way that she carries herself and interacts with other people. Marshall knows about my criminal past, having seen me in the act of trying to lift some artifacts from the museum that he currently interns at. I didn't put your character name, Harper. I put your real name, so I apologize. Harper has worked with me on a job before of an illegal nature and had me maybe procure some items for him. And my dear Selena, I am powerfully attracted to this hunter, and maybe someday I will deserve her.
Good. All right, so what about Harper?
Well, let's see. Roland Harper is a expert paranormal investigator who has seen some shit. He's in his mid-40s, has a sort of deep, experienced face, and wears a rumpled suit. Let's see, his connections. He's sort of taken Marshall under his wing and shown him sort of the ins and outs of the occult, helping him to control his powers. Indeed, I hired Tabby to procure an item via illicit means as part of one of my investigations, and I once helped save Selena's life, and I will let her describe how that went down.
Great. Marshall?
I'm Marshall the Spooky. I am a boy, and I have blank eyes, and I wear nerdy clothes. I intern or volunteer at the local museum, library, and exploratorium, that type of thing, and I really love ants. As they said, Harper has taken me under his wing and shown me how to control my powers, and Tabby, as she already explained, I caught her breaking into the museum as she was trying to acquire something to use her magic. And with Selena, the reason all this got together was Harper, in the library, I actually summoned Selena, or was part of her summoning, as a demon, so hoping that she could help me control my powers that I do have, but not very well.
Good. And Selena?
So I am Selena, the monstrous, more specifically a succubus of the demonic origin. She is a woman with a rather sinister aura about her, always wearing very stylish clothes. A lot of leather, I can tell you that much. With Marshall, like Marshall said, that he was part of summoning Selena because she was kind of a part of the origin of his powers. Like his powers are kind of tied to her demonic origin in a way, and he kind of wanted her to help talk about that and figure out how that shit works. Unfortunately, during that summoning, she did lose control and did almost kill a couple folks, and Harper was the one who was able to contain her magic, contain her powers during that summoning to calm her down and bring her sanity back in a way. As for Tabby, girl's obsessed. Girl has a type. She sees Tabby, she wants it real bad. I can tell you that much. She's just a little frustrated that Tabby doesn't seem to be reciprocating these feelings, or seems to not have the confidence that Selena knows she has to accept the damn feelings.
Excellent. So does anyone have anything else that they want to share that they think is important for anybody to know before we get into the story?
I think something that everyone would know is pretty much Selena is driven by her urges as succubus. So they've had to try and pull her back a few times from trying to get her freak on when the situation was not very appropriate. So they would know
you were the devil that I made the deal with.
For me, everybody would know that I have telepathy and I can see spirits and invisible things.
Since we've all worked together in the past, I imagine you know that I have a sort of crappy warehouse apartment, the type that the hipsters move into, but they haven't found it yet. So the rent's still pretty cheap, which is nice. I keep a large library of both occult and lore books, and I've been known to produce a strange weapon or something. If you just need something out of an armory, I've got that. Maybe. We'll see.
Tabby's got some connections on the police force that she can kind of convince to look the other way if the need arrives, except for one particular member of the force who will do anything to put her away.
Excellent. All right, well, let's get down to it then. So we cut in as the camera pans in on a blue mid-size sedan, and there is a younger, dark-haired woman driving it. In the back seat is a couple in their late 50s, and they pull up in a very large half-circle drive up to an enormous metal wall with a door on it and a chain. And the woman turns off the car, and the couple gets out as well. As she goes over and she unlocks the chain on the door, and she pushes it open. Yes, this hasn't operated in quite a few years. If you were able to get this going again, I think it would make a huge difference and a huge impact on the city. And the couple smile and they nod, and they go inside. And as they go inside, we see them walking towards a very old 3-story building. There are smokestacks on it. It is covered in rust. It is very old and industrial. And as they walk towards the front door, the metal gate slowly starts to close behind them from an unseen force. A couple days later, we find ourselves in Harper's, well, I guess not hipster places, right? But pre-hipster hideaway. And he is there with Tabby, and Tabby has just thrown down a newspaper. And the headline on the newspaper says that the Brown family has gone missing. And you all know that the Brown family are philanthropists in town. And they have just vanished. And Tabby's kind of upset by it because it has brought a lot of attention to their home. And she was planning on actually going into one of their homes and grabbing a couple items. But now that seems to be off the table.
Is there something we can do about this? Because this is throwing off plans.
Do you want me to talk to the head of the journalism and have him maybe not focus so much on the story? I could do that, you know.
There might be a reward for finding them. That might help.
With you, I hope.
What makes you think this is in my wheelhouse, though? People go missing all the time. I don't see anything odd or paranormal about it.
I don't know, it seems kind of mysterious. You go to a abandoned factory of some sort and poof, you're gone. Could be ghosts. Spooky ghosts. That's your wheelhouse, right?
And she is absolutely right that as you guys read through this article, it does give that indication that the Brown family was last seen with a young real estate agent, Janice. She was showing them around to a couple of different properties that they might buy and try to get up and running again. And that was the last time they were seen. There's been no indication that they are at any of those locations, but it is the last place they were known to be.
Is Janice also missing?
She is.
Okay.
Would I know if this building has any previous history of paranormal activity?
Yeah, I think that with a little bit of research, you might be able to find that out. And actually, before we get too far, does anybody have any moves that say, at the beginning of the mystery, roll this? I know it's a possibility for a couple of you, but I'm not sure if anybody took one.
I didn't take
I
it.
didn't.
Okay, excellent.
I do not.
So yeah, I think that, Harper, if you are looking around to try to find some information about this building, a simple investigative mystery roll might get you.
Wonderful. Then I'm going to go over to my lore library, start pulling out old newspaper clippings and history books of the area, and use that to take a +1 forward to investigate the mystery.
Okay, great.
So that's a 9 plus my sharp, right?
That's correct.
So that's an 11.
All right, so you get a hold 2, and that means that you can answer 2 questions or ask 2 questions from the investigative mystery list.
Unfortunately, when I pull up anything other than the Discord page, it cuts my audio out, so I have no way to look at that.
Does anyone have that right in front of them? I
do. You can ask what happened here, what sort of creature is it, what can it do, what can it hurt, or what can hurt it, sorry. Where did it go, what is it going to do, and what is being concealed here?
It doesn't seem like I'm looking at anything in regards to a monster specifically, not yet at least. So I would like to know what is being concealed here in this warehouse.
Yeah, so as you start to go back through the history of this warehouse, searching through a couple of books, even doing a little bit of online research, you find that the name of this place is the Hanlon Steel Mill. And it was established in 1909. And there have been a number of deaths there over the years, but they've all been related to industrial accidents. There hasn't been anything that has seemed strange or supernatural. But you do find that, yeah, there are maybe a dozen deaths there of people who have been running the floor, not even necessarily workers who are in dangerous jobs, but people who were there to help make sure everything was working safely for the workers there.
Sorry, I'm writing it down.
No, please.
Can you help me with how maybe some of those monster-related questions would instead relate to a location?
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this move is that it really is kind of, as you pointed out, connected to what it is you're doing in the moment. So not all of the questions will apply very well in any circumstance because you haven't been able to figure out if there is something supernatural going on here. Yeah.
So but the hold 2 means I can move that forward, right?
Correct. Once you and it will still be dealing with the building and its history. Like, so if you go further on and you discover some more things about the history, you might be able to ask, what happened here or what's going to happen here. But the holds kind of stay true to what the research was done on. So it wouldn't necessarily shift over to, okay, what kind of creature is this? Because the research is about the building and its history.
Right. I got that. Okay. Well, seems like it's could be enough deaths there to sort of create a vortex of paranormal activity, maybe some ghosts. I'll give it a shot. What do you say we go grab Marshall and check this out?
Thank you.
Just as you're exiting the warehouse, I'm like this, ready to knock on the door.
Oh, there you are. Come in.
Hi, guys. Well, how do you know I was here? I hadn't even knocked yet.
Succubus magic.
Oh, yes. Don't use that on me. I'm not susceptible.
I wouldn't dream of it, trust me.
We're going to check out a warehouse where some people have disappeared. There's been a number of deaths over the years, and we thought we could use your site.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'll go along and help you out, yeah.
Great. So I think that a couple of jump cuts later, we find ourselves past the travel and standing about 100 yards away from a very large metal wall. It's almost 3 stories high, and there is an enormous gate at the end of a half-circle drive that looks like it must be big enough for semis to come in and out of. And then off onto the right side of this is a parking lot.
Certainly large enough. I don't suppose the gate's unlocked.
Oh, you can get into anything, Tabby, from what I've seen.
Almost
Yeah.
anything. And she looks over at Selena.
Yeah, the gate is not currently unlocked. There is a fairly large padlock holding the gate closed on this side.
May I go ahead and try and pick that lock?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, so I get to roll plus sharp. Let's see how this goes. I'll take it. That is a 9.
Okay, so I believe with your break-in move, that allows you to pick a couple of circumstances to how you break in.
Yes. Let's see here. I can get in undetected, out undetected, I don't leave a mess, and I find what I was after, so I can pick 2. I'm gonna say on this one I'm gonna get in undetected, and I don't leave a mess.
All right, so you were able to pop this lock off pretty quietly, and even though the lock is old and even covered in rust, you don't seem to damage it in any way, and it comes cleanly off, and the chains kind of coil neatly next to the door.
She will turn and kind of with a flourish and partial bow offer it to Harper. Your lock, sir.
As I push the gate open, I reach into my crumpled suit jacket and pull out a massive, just hand cannon magnum. I don't know what this is going to do against ghosts, but let's go find out. And I'll push the gate open and walk in.
All right, so is everybody following?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so as you push this door open, again, it is very tall. It's not difficult to move because it is on wheels at the bottom, you find as you start to slide it, but it is very large. And you get the feeling that the gate is so high in a attempt to essentially hide this eyesore from the city, that they wanted to have this here, have it working, but they built up a gate that was high enough to just hide it because they felt like seeing that at least was better than seeing all the machinery. And what you can see now is a very run down, rusted metal building. And so directly in front of you as you come in is a set of double doors about 100 feet away. And then right to your right is a small, kind of like a check-in kiosk.
I'm gonna go into the. I go into the kiosk, and if there's a desk or something like that, I'll pull the drawers open, and start rifling for maybe keys or a map, like a small guide to the place, or like a fire exit map kind of thing. Something to give me an idea of how to get around and how to get in.
All right, roll investigate a mystery as you search through this kiosk.
$11 again.
All right, you get a hold too.
Well, since I'm looking for hidden stuff, I'm gonna ask what is concealed here.
Yeah, so as you start to pry this small desk apart, taking out the drawers, kind of rummaging through, it's all pretty old and in disrepair. But you do find 2 things. You find a small keychain that has 2 keys on it, and you also find a old newspaper clipping that talks about actually one of the deaths that happened here in 1966. And it gives the name of the person who died, and it is Roland Hannaford.
As I look at that, I look to see if anybody noticed the name. No? Okay, go back.
And yeah, it just talks about that he was essentially the safety inspector on the floor, made sure all the machines were safe, and that one night, after everything was shutting down, he got his arm, what seems like, stuck in a machine, and when they found him, he had bled to death. They did not find him until the next morning.
Lovely. Well, I'll leave the kiosk and inform my fellow hunters what I have found.
That doesn't sound fun.
Grisly way to go.
Yeah, he's the safety manager.
Seems
A
like
bit
it.
ironic.
Yeah, he wasn't very good at his job. Hey, where do the keys do?
I'm not entirely sure, but should we come across a lock that Tabby can't get us through, these might help.
Oh, I'm sure Tabby can make her way through any lock and key.
Well, thank you for that vote of confidence. I appreciate
I have
it.
very much high confidence for you.
And actually, from
In many avenues.
Actually, from where you guys are standing at this kiosk, you can see that down the west wall of the building, there is about 3 or 4 feet that juts out from the building with a door at a very sharp angle. Almost looks like a cellar door.
Perhaps they go to that.
I'll toss Selena the keys. Go ahead and find out.
I think not. A lady doesn't do the hard labor. A gentleman should. And she
Oh.
hands the keys back.
I'll go.
All right, knock yourself out, kid.
So, Marshall, you're heading down towards that door? Good. So, yeah, as you head down this direction, again, this huge wall lines the whole exterior of this perimeter. But as you get really close to the door, there's actually a crack at the bottom of the metal. And you can see, if you peek down and look, that it goes out into the parking lot that is next to this factory.
Okay. So the crack is in the wall, but that's not related to I went to a door, so it's either next to each other. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. It's essentially behind you if you were facing the door. It's just a little crack that lets you see out into the cement of the parking lot that's next to the building.
Is there another way, like this is obviously for the parking for this facility, is there another way, like a smaller entrance for them to get through in that I can see?
Here on this side, you don't see one, no.
Okay. I'll try to open the door with the keys that I was given.
Yeah, it works. You are able to get the key inside of the lock and pull both the doors open, and it leads down into, well, essentially darkness right now.
All right, guys. I'm gonna just go down and then I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go take a look. It's pretty dark.
You need a flashlight or something?
I don't have one.
I have I carry around sort of like a doctor's bag, almost like a big black leather bag, and in it tends to have whatever I might need, maybe. So I'm gonna roll on my preparedness. And
Yeah, roll it.
Hope that I come up with some sort of flashlight. It's not unusual or rare, but I'm gonna use it anyway. 8.
All right, so what does preparedness tell you with an 8?
That I left it at home.
Yeah, so you do remember that there's a spot here. You've got flashlight, you've got bandages, you've got a tourniquet, some scissors, but the flashlight spot is empty, and there is a half-eaten sandwich there.
To be clear, it looks like a doctor's bag. It's not a doctor's bag. It's like a juju, like occult. It's just random shit inside.
Yeah, so he digs around inside. And he does not
I noticed
find the
that he
light for you.
doesn't have one, so I take a few steps down just to go down to the bottom of the stairs. Is there anything to prop the door open with?
They kind of pull to the side and lay down.
All right, I'll do that. I'm just going to go to the bottom of the stairs, and then I would like to use my sight to see if I can see anything invisible. But obviously, it's dark too. So.
Yeah, so you get to the bottom of the stairs and you open up, essentially your sight, and you for a brief moment see the world in a different color spectrum. You kind of see the shifting energies. You can see, if there are spirits there. And the thing that you notice is almost like if a spirit had been dispersed but was still present. You see just little waves and little pieces flickering around, and they are moving around what you can barely make out. It looks like girders piled up down here.
Okay. You still want me to roll?
Yeah.
That was okay. That is an 11.
All right. So you
9 plus.
Yep. So you get a hold 2.
It doesn't say anything on that other than that I get to just see the spirits and stuff. So
yeah. So
I'll look at the. I'm gonna try to find a clue in the girders. That's something it allows me to do, is find clues. So
okay.
Search the girders.
I think that what this does is this kind of enhances your investigate a mystery, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll find. I'll ask what happened here, and what is being concealed.
So as you take a couple steps closer to these girders, because your eye has caught these little pieces of floating kind of etherealness, the thing that is being concealed here is that whatever spirit is down here right now has not pulled itself together, that it has almost spread itself out so that it can be aware of a much larger area than it maybe has the ability to travel to. And what was your other one? What happened here?
What happened here?
And what happened here is that you notice on the ground that there are a lot of scuff marks around this metal, and you can't imagine that anybody has moved this in a very long time, but it sure looks like it has been moved. That something has been moving these huge metal iron girders around, and you can't quite tell to what end, but something has been making these mobile.
As of recently?
Yeah, recent enough that there are marks in the dust.
I'm going to head back up then. Back to the...
All right.
Fill them in on what you just explained to the...
They must have been really strong. They're really heavy girders. I don't know what could have done.
That seems suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know. And the spirit that's down there, it's pretty spread out. It's not very focused, so I don't know. It's probably trying to take up this entire place.
That's interesting.
So there is a spirit then.
Well, they're everywhere.
Right.
It's pretty dark down there too, so I don't know if there's probably not any electricity. We can try another entrance.
Or we can try to see if there's any way to turn on the lights, so to speak.
Yeah, I didn't look.
Selena will go back to the kiosk and see if she can find, like a flashlight hiding anywhere, or maybe even matches.
The kiosk has been pretty thoroughly tossed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot to say to you guys that I did see there's a crack in the wall leading out to the parking lot. So we can get out there too. There may be some cars or something that have stuff in it.
Did I see any abandoned cars when I looked through?
Not at the initial glance. No, you did not see anything out there.
One more other question. Do we see the blue car and the realtor? Are there cars past the gate?
You don't see that car.
I'll point that out to the group.
So no evidence of them even being here.
Well, the car was probably moved once they were doing the investigation.
Yeah, it could have been towed.
Yeah, if we're thinking that Ghost got him or something, Ghosts don't move cars.
Right.
Or do they?
If
Ghost
I
something's
don't know.
moving giant iron girders around,
This is true. This is true.
why don't we peek through that crack and see if we can't see?
You cut out
After-
Tessa.
After you, Tabby.
I'm gonna go over and take a peek through the crack and see if I can see if any cars have been moved. Maybe a blue car, perhaps, has been moved into the parking lot by something that can move giant iron girders around.
Yeah, so as you've got enough room to kind of, you guys could Three Stooges through this crack that three of you might be able to get your faces through and look around a little bit, but it would take some effort to pry it open more to get a body through. But roll Investigate a Mystery as you kind of peek around this
Alrighty.
parking lot.
Let's see here. 11.
All right, you guys are rolling rocks. You get a plus, hold 2.
Alrighty. I'm definitely going to do what is being concealed here and what happened here. I think is the most appropriate for this particular investigation.
Okay. You know, I have to say, the Monster of the Week game that we run is at 50 plus episodes, and I think you guys have had more successful rolls in this hour than they had in their first 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh no!
Just wait until I start rolling.
I would like to thank Die Hard Dice for rolling
There you
so
go.
well.
So yeah, the thing that is being concealed here is connected really closely to what happened here. You can see on the north side of the parking lot. So this parking lot runs all the way up the west wall. And you can see at the north part of the parking lot that there are a set of black tire marks as if a car was dragged sideways. And then you see that same marks continued tearing up the grass and the dirt, and it vanishes behind what would essentially be the north side of the wall behind the building.
Does it look fresh?
It does.
I think we might need to go into the parking lot. Looks like something drug something very large out of the parking lot and into maybe the foliage to the north of everything here.
How high is the wall separating us and the parking lot?
About 3 stories.
Oh, so no big deal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
Easy
jump.
climb.
I don't think I can alley-oop that.
I mean, you can with my help.
True.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not that strong, but
Can we try to pry the? Does it look like we could get a group together and pry the hole bigger?
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, I think that if everybody worked together, I think that someone could roll a tough, and then 2 other people could roll a help out, essentially.
I'm not tough at all, guys.
Same here.
I'll just offer support.
Yeah, I'm not your guy for that either.
Do any of us have a tough, addition?
All right.
I have a tough of 0.
That's better than
Same.
my tough of -1.
Yeah, mine's a minus.
Okay.
One of the zeros roll.
All right, why don't you
Go
go
for
ahead,
it.
Tabby?
You want me to do it? Okay. Oh God. Okay.
This is probably going
I
to be
can
our
help
first
out.
fail.
I can help
All right,
out.
so whoever's going to help out, roll help out and let me know your result.
I'll
Oh,
help
if
you.
Tabby's going to do it, Selena's going to help.
Well, fair.
God. Okay. That's a 5.
Help out is cool, correct? Okay.
Even with a help out, it's going to fail. It's fine.
I rolled a 7, so you get a +1 to your roll. It gets you a plus. But I
I
exposed
rolled-
myself to danger or trouble. That's fun.
So,
I got a 12 to help out.
okay, good. So that
Better than
gets you
me!
to a 7. All right. So I think the way that this results is that the three of you get to the side of this gate where it is starting to curl, and you all pull on it, and you get a little bit of leverage, and it starts to rip, and you can hear the metal, it's that sound of wrenching metal. And as you get it higher and higher, and high enough so that Tabby can get through, you hear the same sound of that wrenching metal coming from behind you down the stairs. And then you hear thung, thung, like something walking on cement, something very heavy, and it's getting closer to the door.
Get through. Get through.
All right. Tabby's gonna squeeze through.
Yeah, no problem. Is everybody following her?
Uh-huh.
I'll go last and grab my bag and sort of start getting maybe ready to cast some juju.
All right, so yeah, I think with you making sure that everybody gets through first, you see it start to crest the top of the stairs, and it looks like almost like a child's stick figure, but made of iron girders. And they are bent in all the right spots to be able to move its joints, and there is no face, and it punches through the bar connecting the two doors and starts to climb out of this hole.
Maybe we shouldn't have opened the door.
Hindsight's 2020.
I will, as fast as I possibly can, squeeze through that hole that we just made.
Selena's probably helping to pull him forward.
Yeah, I think since you were the last one going through and this thing was coming, roll Act Under Pressure to get everybody else through and then get yourself out safely.
Well, I've read about this sort of thing. So I'm going to add sharp to that instead of cool.
Yes.
I love that move. That is
Oh.
one of my favorite expert moves.
Oh no.
7.
All right, it could be much worse. So with Act Under Pressure, with a mixed success, you get to make a choice. So you get a worse outcome, a hard choice, or a price to pay. So you can get everybody safely through this gate and get yourself out. But what's going to happen is either you're going to take a little bit of a hit as you kind of get your last leg through, and it's going to give you a -1 ongoing until you can figure out how to heal that ankle. Or you're going to leave something behind. The bag is going to get snagged on the door, and it's going to rip, and something that you might need later is going to fall out. Or you're going to panic in those last seconds, and you're going to rush through, and someone else is going to take the hit.
Everything I need is in that bag, so I'll take the hit.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody gets through, and right as Harper pulls himself the last of the way through, you see this giant metal fist slam down on his ankle as he pulls it through, and there's a little bit of a crack sound, and he's suddenly got a limp. And so for now, you'll have a -1 ongoing when it comes to things dealing with movement.
Okay, let's go quick. That thing looks monstrous.
No, really? Us fighting monsters? That's insane.
So when you hear me say monstrous, you understand what I'm talking about. It's even worse.
Worse than me? Understandable.
Come on.
We go.
I'm already 10 steps away.
Yeah.
Good.
And I think the thing that you guys discover as you're helping Harper up and you're starting to move north is that this metal golem, for lack of a better term, doesn't continue to push through. It is stopped right there, and it's not necessarily looking through. It paces back and forth a little bit, and then you hear it go away.
It's probably the border as far as it can go. Something's keeping it tied to here.
So what made those then?
What it seemed
That's a good
connected
question.
to when we ripped the metal open, that's what drew its attention. We heard that same sound behind us.
That's a good point.
We should try to be quiet, I imagine, then.
Perhaps try not to manipulate openings as much.
But I'm so good at it.
Oh.
Are you guys gonna continue to do this the whole day? Because
You can cut this
Yes.
innuendo with a knife.
I was talking about entering a building. What are you all talking
I
about?
mean, they're always like this.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh.
I assume that, at least initially when this was happening, that Marshall would be standing there with the anime bead drop of sweat on his temple. So you guys head north to the parking lot where you have seen these black marks made by what seems like the rubber of tires, and then these marks that have been dragged through the grass.
I bet if we follow these, we might find our missing vehicle. Or what did it. Either way.
Fun times all around.
All right, so you guys gonna follow these tracks?
I'm gonna let somebody, or I'm gonna fade to the background of this scene for 1 second. I'll be right back if that's okay.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. So I just follow along, gun out, scanning the distance.
So the everyone starts to track along with these divots that have been dug in the grass, and as you get around to the north side of the wall, you see that there is a fairly sparse area of trees. It's enough to keep some stuff concealed, and really from here, that's all you can see is kind of a copse of trees, if you will.
Well, do you want to go into?
Is that's where the tracks lead?
Yes.
So we gonna go into the woods, or?
I suppose since that's where the tracks lead, go where they lead.
Weapon, Marshall? Anything to protect yourself with?
Oh yeah, well I have a gun, but I don't know how to use it very well, and I have this knife. Neither are good against invisible things or spirits and stuff.
I don't really either, but she'll reach into her bag and pull out her 22 to have on her just in case.
All right.
Selena will just kind of, she had like this long coat on. She kind of pulls it back to reveal her 9mm and goes, "Well, I am prepared for anything." Anything. She winks at Tabby.
Were you prepared for like a giant girder golem?
No, not that.
I don't know how effective these will be on a something made out of metal.
I will either go wonderfully or really poorly. We will find out together.
Excellent.
So you guys, who's leading the way here, and how are you going through? Are you kind of just marching along, following the tracks? Or are you trying to take your time and kind of keep an eye out? How are you going through?
Tabby is probably going first very quietly and trying to be incredibly stealthy about her approach. She wants to get all of the information, using, her skills as a burglar to kind of just sneak ever so quietly up to the copse of tree. Oh my god, that's amazing.
I felt I needed help getting into character, so.
Oh,
here we go.
nice.
That's beautiful. It's amazing.
That's why he went back for his bag. He had it.
Yes,
in there.
Had to do a quick wardrobe change.
I love it.
I wish I had the ability to be like just a second and walk away and come back just somehow just painted entirely metallic. Like, all right, I'm good.
I'm an Iron Man now.
Yes. All right, so Tabby, as you are trying to sneak through here and kind of gather all the information you can, I want you to roll read a bad situation as you're trying to figure out what's going on back here and find where these tracks lead.
Okay.
Selena is close by Tabby. Not close enough to interfere, but she's close enough so she can enjoy the view.
10.
All right, so you
Not
get a
bad.
hold 3.
Let's see here. Let's say, what's my best way in? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? And what's the biggest threat?
Okay. And what do you think would be the first question you'd ask? Because I do want to give you guys the option, too, that you can always ask your first question, get the information revealed from that, and that might change your second or third question.
My first question would be, are there any dangers I haven't noticed?
So as you part through these trees, trying to walk very quietly, it's not too difficult because the grass is pretty thick back here. It hasn't been mowed in a while. Your eyes fall upon the frame of a car. There's seats, there's tires, everything that is plastic or alloy is still there. And behind it, you see another one of these strange humanoid shapes, but it is all jagged edges, and the color looks familiar. It's made of the blue metal that covered the outside of the sedan. And so it is much smaller than what you just saw come out of the building, but it is leaner and has a lot more jagged edges to it and angles. And it is just moving around back and forth around the car, around what's left of the car.
Okay, so then,
Sorry. Now that I'm back, are we all still together?
Yeah.
Or are
You guys
Yeah.
are all back
Oh,
in the
okay.
tree.
We're in a
The car was in a small like tree for small little forest of trees, and yeah, that's where we all are. Would I be able to use telepathy to try to get into this metal creature's mind, or does it not have that ability?
It would not have a mind.
so yeah, I would change my other two questions, to what's my best way out rather than in. And I wish I could do investigate a mystery. What's most vulnerable to me? Like hoping maybe there's a way to hurt it or something if I need.
So the thing that seems vulnerable about it is nothing so eloquent as the weapons that you all are carrying, because as you have noted, this is made of metal. But having seen that the golem previously stopped at a certain boundary, you notice as you watch that this little bluish metal man is walking a perimeter around what is left of the car, and you do not see it go any further than about 3 feet away from the source of the metal that it was created from. And then the best way to get out would probably just be to stop and point backwards over your shoulder and get everybody to kind of reverse gear.
As we walk away, then, Marshall, do you see? Is there a spirit that animates this? Can you see what drives it?
I can try. I tried to talk to it with my mind, and I just got um blankness back. It didn't wanna. Was nothing there.
So there's no one in the driver's seat then?
That is correct.
Thank you, Tessa.
So I would say no. I don't think there's any spirits here.
I'll try to use the sight.
Okay, yeah. So roll investigate a mystery.
8 plus 2, 10.
Yeah, you get a hold to it.
That's investigate a mystery. No, my sight is magic. I use weird.
Oh, I thought your sight just enhanced the way that you were able to investigate a mystery. That in addition to that, you can see things that other people wouldn't normally see on investigation. Or does it have separate results for it?
It doesn't. So yeah, it's actually sharp. So that's going to be a 9, not a.
Oh, okay. So you get a hold.
And I'll ask the group, should I find out what sort of creature it is, or what is it gonna do?
Can you find out what we can do to hurt it?
I can, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't. Any of those work for me.
Probably
I'll find
really
out
what it is.
how to hurt it.
Oh, that works.
You think that the only way to hurt this simply is any way that you would be able to damage metal, that it would take blunt items, that it would take anything that could really pierce through it and scratch it. It probably doesn't have a lot to it. It's just hard to get through. And based off of her observation of it being connected to a location, you think that if you could somehow draw it away from its essentially boundary, that it may not be able to sustain itself.
Okay.
Well, let's leave that thing where it is. It seems to be fine, pacing circles around its former whatever it was. Let's try to get inside.
All right, after you.
Let's try not to meet up with your old friend, Harbour.
Yeah, not back that way.
Not into the basement, maybe through the front doors.
Yeah, you said that this old steel factory is it's probably a couple blocks big.
Yep, there we go. Right button. Yeah, it is fairly big. It's about a block and a half each direction.
There's bound to be other doors. Let's just follow along this north one until we find something.
I imagine they wouldn't have started their realtor tour through the basement, so yeah.
Yeah, we could look for like a fire exit, like from the second floor or something. A
Good
ladder
plan.
or something to get in.
Good plan.
So you guys are right now at the northwest corner. You have come across the car, which was kind of directly north in that area of trees. Are you going to try to skirt between the wall and those trees and follow along that north boundary?
Well, the parking lot you said was along the west side, correct?
Correct.
Well, nobody puts a parking lot on the opposite side of a building than the doors. Well, they shouldn't. So maybe there's a door in by on the west wall.
Yeah, so you guys have been up the majority of the west wall from the crack that you came out of on the west wall.
I figured it might be there. We just hadn't asked yet. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's just start walking around the build way we haven't gone then. So the north side towards heading east.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So you guys travel down this north wall, and you get about 50 yards past where the car is in the forest. and you do find a break in the fence where there is about 2 or 3 feet that have been busted out of it, and they are the wall is actually curled outwards as if something was forcibly thrown out through the wall.
Well, that's on my end. Or out.
I'll peek through it.
So when you look through here, what you see is the backside of the building. There are windows up on the 2nd and 3rd floor, but it is essentially building almost as far as you can see both directions.
Right or left, gang?
Marshall, which way do you want to go?
Oh, I always go left. Until I get to Albuquerque.
So you guys are going to continue essentially around the building as opposed to doubling back towards the west side.
Yeah.
So as you go along, you get to the edge of this north side of the building, and as you come around the corner to the east side, there is a pretty steep drop down of a ramp. And then at the bottom of this ramp are a set of large double doors. And you can tell just by the look of it that it must be the bay where the semis would park to load up whatever they are transporting that day.
Well, that's a good entrance.
You're not going to go first, are you?
No.
That's okay, I will.
Tabby has the skills to get in, so.
I hope so.
Well, let me give it a try. So, is there a lock or a side door or anything in there, or is it just the double doors? Is it like a roll door?
Yeah, it's a big double roll door that has, again, a padlock on it.
Okay, so yeah. So she'll go over to the padlock and take a peek at it and see what she can do.
All right.
That's not great.
Harper, if she can't get in, maybe you could just shoot the lock.
So I get to pick 2, it looks like. So I will choose we get in undetected and don't leave a mess.
All right. Yeah, so Tabby starts to fiddle with this lock again, and it seems very similar to the style of the one that we used at the front, and so it takes you even less time, and you are able to get the lock off the door, and the chain neatly coils next to the door, and you slide it open.
Success.
Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah.
So it's still daylight, yeah?
Yes.
Does that illuminate anything in the bay, or we're going to need...
Yeah, so as she slides this door open, what you see is essentially a big loading bay. There are a couple of conveyor belts, and in the corner of the room is a little cubicle, and then on the south wall is a single door.
Nothing moving around, no giant cubicle golems.
Yeah, that's correct. You don't see anything stomping around right now.
Sure, I'll... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, gun in one hand, bag in the other. I'll lead the way towards the cubicle.
All right, so you get over into the cubicle, and again, the thing that that Marshall had noticed down below, a lot of dust here. You can tell that this place has not been active in many years, and that people haven't even really come through here in 10 years or so. And as you move through the room, it seems undisturbed, like nothing has been in here. You can't see any signs of any footprints in the dust or the old metal shavings. And you get over to the cubicle, and there is a filing cabinet and a very, very old computer as well as a desk.
I'm gonna try to turn the computer on.
Yeah, it takes a minute, but it does seem to power on, which surprises you because initially you would not think that there is power running through this building, but something must be running somewhere.
Well, Marshall fiddles with that piece of electronics that's probably as old as I am. I'm gonna rifle through the filing cabinet.
All right. So I don't think this takes any kind of a roll from either of you to access these files. So as you go through this old desktop, and as you, Harper, go through the files, Harper, what you find is another clipping. It is a memorial service card from 1979. It is from the foreman who had passed away during an accident here. And it is very similar to the one that you have read from 1966, where they were here doing some final touch-ups on the evening, and they got stuck in a machine and bled out before they could be found in the morning.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah, the machines hate the people.
Well, wouldn't you hate it if somebody just did nothing but push your buttons all day long?
Yeah.
And Marshall, the thing that you find on the computer is you find old records of all the insurance claims that have been made. And what you find is that the insurance at this place is amazing. From the time that they opened in 1909, you find that there was, an issue right at the very beginning, but starting at 1910, they had really good insurance that anything happened to anybody and their family was taken care of completely, that they would get essentially the pay as if that person had worked there the rest of their life until retirement. And it has been a consistent point of pride for this company for the entirety of the time that it ran, which was, again, from 1909 to 1997 is when it closed down and had not yet been reopened again.
Back at my place, my research was telling me that there had been over dozens of deaths like this since 1909 up until it closed. That's a lot of money to be paying out. Just saying, it seems strange.
What's the name of the foreman?
The name of the foreman from 1979 that's in the article that he found is Dan Reynolds.
Different families, it looks like.
Perhaps, don't most human families are connected by blood but have different surnames? Like aunts, cousins, all that human shit.
Can be. Could be an interesting way to keep a family in the green, as it were. That's kind of a horrible thought. I regret having. I'm gonna go poke around and see if there's anything that looks like I could sell it at a pawn shop. And she just kind of wanders.
You might be able to get something for that computer at an antique store.
There's one in the museum already. That's how I knew how to use it.
So in this room, you've got the old computer, you've got the table and the file cabinet, you've got these conveyor belts, and then on the south wall there is the single door.
I'm gonna go check out that door, see if it's open.
It is not locked, and there is a little pane of glass on it, and you can see through the glass that there are that it essentially leads out to the shop floor. There are 9 or 10 large machines, some of them for bending, some of them for pressing, all the different things that they would use to process and shape the metal.
Now I can see how to get onto the floor. Does it look dusty? Like this place looks dusty, or are there footprints in it? Does it look like something has been disturbed?
From where you are, just looking through this window, it's kind of hard to tell.
Selena will go over and join Tabby.
We could just go down the conveyor belt.
And potentially get caught in machines? I don't think so.
Well, I wasn't gonna turn them on.
It doesn't seem like we need to turn anything on for the machines to still come for us.
That's true.
I'm still limping.
Yeah.
Is there a first aid kit in the office area that maybe I could look at Harper's ankle with?
Roll luck. And so this is a mechanic that we have put in. So roll your 2 6-sided die, and then your remaining luck halved. And so essentially you'll add a 3 to it right now.
All right. That would be a 9.
Yeah, you do find kind of the remnants of a first aid kit in here, and you think that you might be able to use what's inside of it to wrap Harper's leg, and that it won't always help him out. It's not going to solve his problem right now, but mechanically speaking, on a good luck roll, he won't be affected by the ankle from time to time.
Okay. All right. So she'll bring it over. Let's see if we can at least wrap you up a little bit.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
So she'll spend a few minutes wrapping his ankle, trying to give it a little extra support.
All right. So is there anything that Selena and Marshall are doing while Harper is being tended to?
Yeah. Marshall's going to be taking the 2 clippings, or the 3 clippings, right? We had one. As many clippings as we have, the 2, and then he's going to see if it's the same machine.
Good call.
That's it. If it is the same machine, he's going to look on the floor to see if he can find the machine.
Yeah, so in the articles, it doesn't really specify what machine it was, but it does specify that they were crushed under something in the machine. So I think what you might be able to do is go to the window and try to take a closer look at the machines and see if you can figure out what they each do.
Okay, so that's what I'll be doing.
Right.
And I think for that, just give me a straight sharp roll.
Dude, that's an 11 on the die, and then I have a +1 sharp, so I don't know. I never roll this good.
Yeah, not only do you know which machine it is, you know from your time working at the library and going through the some of the old farm manuals, you know who invented it, you know which brand it is, you know how to replace some of the pieces on them.
Oh, I can get it running again, guys. This is the machine that I spent a lot of time studying this.
Yeah, you think that if it opens up, you might be interested in applying for the job of foreman here.
Let's hope you don't have the same luck as the last one did.
Clearly, yeah.
A little concerned that we're going to go in there and we're going to find remnants of the Browns crushed under something.
Oh, more than likely. I and the real estate agent. I wouldn't
Ew.
doubt it.
It would solve the mystery.
It would solve the mystery. But you would think that maybe the police would have found it by now. That's true.
What you said it closed in the 90s. What year in the 90s?
1997.
Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, from that information, you also would know that it closed in 1997 after the death of Rutherford Hanlon, who was who at least shares the same last name as the factory, which is something that you have not found with any of the other deaths so far.
Do we know how Hanlon died?
You do not. There has not been any information about that other than the closing of the building was a result of his death because he was not necessarily the foreman, but he was the owner.
Okay, but it wasn't like he died of old age and nobody bought it, so they shut it down.
Correct. They did not talk about how he died, but you do know that he did die here, and that is why it closed again.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so Marshall, you do, as you're kind of peeking through this dirty window, you discover that the machine that you think is being described in a couple of these deaths is the one in the center of the room.
Yeah, so it's that one right over there. It's the big one that crushes things.
The huge.
Oh, that's not
crusher.
ominous.
Yeah, well, it's not, walking around right now, so that's good.
Or it could be the source of all the walking around.
There's only one way to find out, folks.
Yeah. Hey, is your leg better? We can head down there.
It still aches, but what are you gonna do? So do my knees, so does my back. Forget it.
Too real.
Yeah, seriously. Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor.
I mean, we could try that.
This is not the time to play doctor.
Every time is a good time to play doctor.
No, I'm pretty sure this is not.
I mean, Selena would disagree. Anyway,
Marshall
you
just
said the
leaves
door
room.
was. You said that the door was locked. Is that correct?
No, the
getting
door
to the-
is not locked. Nope.
Yeah, fuck it. Selena opens the door and she's just gonna take a step or two in, just see what happens. She's making sure that she opens it slowly, so not to try and make too much noise.
As Selena enters the room, we pan back through the room, almost like a fisheye lens, as we see her walking in, and dust in the room starts to swirl, and then we hear metal starting to shake. And from near this machine, we see this woman appear. She is all white and gaunt, and she starts to scream, but there is no sound. But the sound that you hear is the twisting and wrenching of metal as pieces of sheet metal start to spiral around her like a tornado and fly towards you. And that's where we're going to take our break at our halfway point.
Oh shit!
I have a -1 to sharp.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the second half of our Monster of the Week game. So before we get back into it, we're gonna give, I almost said Tabby, that's not your real name. We're gonna give Tessa an opportunity to talk about, again, why it is we're here playing this game right now and what's gonna happen throughout the rest of this episode of Monster of the Week.
Absolutely. I mean, Tabby is pretty close to Tessa. I mean, same letter, same number of letters. It's all good.
I mean, I've been way further off about names before, so.
There you go. It does also say Tabby right under my face right now in our chat to help. So it's, it's totally fine. So just really quickly, again, thank you guys for coming and watching. Again, this is part of the Nerdsmith Subdrive 2019 Mixer. And we are going to go ahead and talk really briefly about our sponsors who make Nerdsmith happen when we're not asking for your money for our subdrive, and that is absolutely Die Hard Dice. Ooh, excuse me, hiccup. Die Hard Dice and World Anvil. The Die Hard Dice are an amazing company. They create some beautiful, beautiful metal dice. Mike is showing off, I think that's the Inferno Spellslinger set Mike has, and I know Gabby's got a couple of dice as well. All of their metal dice are their own design. They have come up with it. I believe the enamel is hand painted in-house, at least it was when I talked to him last. And if you would like to get your own set of Die Hard Dice, you can go to their website and use the code, let's see, I believe it's Countless Heroes for 15% off your first or next order if you have not used that code before. Each of the Nerdsmith shows has their own code, I believe, so if you want to check out and listen to a few other shows, see if you could find a different code if you've already used that Countless Heroes one, check out some of the other offerings. Also, we are sponsored by World Anvil. World Anvil is the most comprehensive online campaign management tool out there in the world today. How do I know? Logan has tried all of them. And, well, therefore, my wallet has tried all of them. And not only is World Anvil free to use, it is absolutely the best system out there. I am super thrilled with it and could not enjoy them more. If you are managing a RPG campaign or writing a novel, the world building tool that World Anvil provides is incredible. They have over 250,000 users currently, and I use it, Angela uses it, Logan uses it, I can't say, Gabby uses it.
I'm kind of using it, I'm working on it.
Mike uses it. I cannot say enough good things about World Anvil. If you would like to get your own subscription to World Anvil, you can go to worldanvil.com, check out the free subscriptions that they have. All of the paid options remove ads, as well as give you some other nifty features, such as creating your own map pins, which is very fun. And I believe also, currently, if you would like to try and win a subscription to World Anvil, you can type !Hunter into chat right now and be entered to win a subscription. And I will let Rev get back into it with the scary lady in white who is hurling a tornado of metal at us.
Yes.
Just Selena.
At me.
Yes,
Not everyone else, at me.
Okay.
Yeah, so for anybody just joining us, just a quick recap. We have our team here. They have gone looking for a pair of philanthropists who have gone missing along with their real estate agent, and they are at a old steel mill, which was the last place that they were seen. They have creeped around outside, started to find some clues about some deaths that have been happening. Some deaths have happened. Some deaths that have been... Some happy deaths that have been happening, and some sad deaths that have been happening. And they are starting to find a couple of names around the building as well of people who have died, and they all seem to have been foremen who were in charge of taking care of the safety of this place. And they have just discovered that a number of them were killed by the same machine after hours. And Selena has stepped inside to check out the floor where all the machines are, and a presence has awoken and started to make a metal tornado. So Selena, you see these big pieces of sheet metal spiraling and thrown in your direction. Roll Act Under Pressure.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. Oh, my cool is not that great. Cool. Let's see how this goes. I rolled a 12.
All right, so you see this happening, and something about your succubus speed, your demon eyes, you are able to back up very quickly and dive behind the door as these pieces of metal all slam into the wall and the door as you shut it behind you.
Okay, not going through that door again. Huh.
That's probably why it was left unlocked.
Yeah, probably. Hindsight's 2020.
That's the second time that's come up today.
Yeah.
I don't have that ability.
Neither do I. So, creepy lady throwing sheet metal.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Tessa.
Giant iron golem and small car golem. So,
Something tells me she might be the mastermind.
a little bit.
I'll reach
She
out to her.
making friends?
I'm not going through that door again.
I'll be her friend. I'll just look through the window and try to reach out with my mind to see what's going on in there.
All right, so do you happen to know on your telepathy ability, does it allow you to communicate or negotiate with monsters?
I can manipulate them without speaking. It allows me to investigate a mystery, read a bad situation without needing to actually talk. I can read people's thoughts and put words in their mind.
Okay, but it does not say
Doesn't
that
say
you can do it
monsters.
with monsters.
Nope.
Yeah, so it'll in this book, in this game, it'll specifically say if you can use a move with manipulate someone on monsters.
Nope. I got nothing.
Well, I mean, talking with whatever she is isn't exactly something I'm good at. I seduce mortals, not that. I mean, I could try to seduce her. I can give it a shot. Probably wouldn't go well, but I could try it.
She did try to hit on you, so.
Not in the way that I like it.
Well, beggars can't be choosers.
I never beg. Well, I'm trying to beg for one time in my entire immortal life, which is weird. Looks to Tabby.
Creepy and undead is not your type?
What do you want to do now? Because
I'm going to be rummaging through my bag, looking for components to cast a minor ritual spell.
All right, so roll use magic.
Is the woman still throwing stuff, or did she stop? Is it done now, the tornado?
So if you peek back outside of the little window, you can see that the tornado has stopped. Those pieces of metal are, kind of diagonal across that wall, and she is just, like when you move into view to look out, she is already making eye contact with you. She is just watching that door.
So my attempt here is to banish a spirit. So, just, I've pulled out some powders and made a quick circle, and like a feather and a bone, and I start mumbling some words, and I'm rolling magic. And that's weird, right?
That's correct.
8.
All right, so what is your effect is to banish a spirit, and you pick one glitch from that list as well.
I can pick the glitch.
Yeah, you pick the glitch, and then I will determine how it works.
I would like to see what you come up with for a problematic side effect.
So you open up this rift, and you start to cast the spell, and you, over the circle, you break the bone. And as you break the bone, you see some strange look comes across her face through the window, and she starts to shake and slowly goes down into the ground. And then you hear pound, 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 and it's much larger than the last time. And you see an enormous metal fist come out of the floor and grip down, and an arm starts to come through. You can see that something else is in this metal now and is trying to pull itself out from the basement.
Sorry, guys. I thought that would work better.
It's okay.
Oh, you weren't trying to get its attention?
That was not my intent.
Maybe we can lure it away from its grounding point?
If you're suggesting run, I think that might be the best idea.
I mean, not in so many words. She vaults over the desk and starts booking it.
It's only one word, but okay. You know.
So you guys are headed back out the loading bay door.
Yeah, Saldana, geez, that wrong show. Selena is going. She's gonna make sure to help Harper because saved her life. Might as well help make sure his life stays intact.
Okay, good call. So Harper, with your bad leg, you're gonna roll act under pressure to get out of here, but Selena is gonna help out. She's gonna roll help out to hopefully give you a +1 to this.
As I drop my dice.
Wonderful. Well, I've read about running away from giant metal golems with a busted ankle before, so I'm gonna roll with somehow with cool on or sharp instead of cool on that one. But I am also gonna try to keep sort of a consistent distance from this thing, so we don't run away too fast and lose its interest. I want to keep it coming.
Oh, okay.
I rolled a 9 on my help out. So I give him a +1, but I expose myself to trouble or danger, which is fun. Nice!
So that's a 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yes, you see the other two go out the door. Selena stays behind to help you. And as she starts to help you, you realize, you know what? I think I've got this. I'm good. And you turn around and you start to kind of backpedal to keep an eye on this metal creature as it comes through the wall, because you're trying to keep some space with it. You don't want to lose track of it. And Selena turns around to see what you're doing, because obviously you spinning around as she's trying to help you along kind of throws her off, and she turns to watch as well, and she tumbles backwards over the conveyor belt that is behind her and ends up flat on the ground between you and this giant metal golem.
Sounds like a
Cool.
shitty outcome for a great roll.
Well, that was her negative outcome because
That
her
was my
help out
negative
got her
outcome.
into danger.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I was helping you. And I rolled a 9.
Oh, you were definitely helping.
Yeah, you did great. She was the one who had the fail.
Tabby, they're not coming. Something probably happened.
Just a bit.
How far is she?
She's probably about 15 feet, and it's about 40 feet.
Tabby screeches to a halt and turns back, going, "Okay, I'm going."
Is there a way for me to crawl under the conveyor belt? Like, does it have spacing, or do I have to go over the damn?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll act under pressure to try to get underneath this conveyor belt and make your way towards the door under the protection of it.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna run forward as well to at least where she is.
Okay. That's not a good look.
I rolled a 3.
Oh
And I'm going to follow Tabby back in reluctantly.
So Harper leaps over the conveyor belt trying to keep pace with Selena to see where she is at under there. Tabby and Marshall, you come in the door just in time to see this enormous golem smack the conveyor belt away with one hand and scoop Selena up with the other hand and turn back and start to walk towards the middle of the building again.
Oh, hell no!
She's like, help me, help. No, help me.
I'm going to just take my bag of tricks and overhand this thing at him just as hard as I can.
Okay, so roll kick some ass. What would the damage be on this thing?
Well, it's I have one harm magic with my juju bag under my monster slaying gear.
All right, so yeah, roll kick some ass.
I'm picturing it. Are we on the second story looking down?
I mean, if you guys have come back inside to help them, you are at the bottom of the ramp now inside of the loading bay.
So this still uses tough despite the fact that I'm using magic.
That's correct.
Okay. 9.
Yeah, so you smack this in the leg, and you see the magic go off and kind of go through the metal. You actually see that it does take a decent chunk out of the essentially leg iron, and it kicks backwards with the other leg as it feels this, and you take 2 points of damage as it knocks you backwards towards the exit.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm going to... Go ahead, Tabby.
Tabby's gonna run in and attempt to use magic.
All right, what are you going to do?
I would like to bar a place or portal to a specific kind of person or type of creature. So I'd like to bar the actual entrance into that room with all the equipment from the creature. Bar it from entering that.
Yeah, okay, so you're essentially going to have to be barring the wall because it broke its way through, so there's not necessarily a door anymore, but I think the idea still holds, so roll use magic.
Alright, this is gonna be... I don't do this often, so we'll see how this works. 11!
Alright, so you kind of panic as you see Selena being carried towards this room with all the machinery where you know that a number of people have died as a result of being crushed in the machinery, and you throw your hands out and you say a couple words, and the wall that has been broken is refilled with glowing blue energy, and you see the golem knock into it, and it can't seem to get through for the moment, and it seems to be uncertain as to what's going on.
Marshall would like to see take this all in, and he's gonna run immediately to the machine. And prior, with his knowledge of this machine that he's read about, he's gonna try to disassemble it.
Okay, so you are running over to that machine. Roll investigate a mystery as you get to the machine to see exactly what's going on here.
Oh no, Marshall, no.
I rolled 2 1s, so yeah, my luck is now running out. Can I use luck?
You can, so that is something we have not talked about yet.
Yeah.
On a failed roll, people can use luck, and using luck turns whatever their roll is into a 12, makes it a full success. And the ramifications of using luck is that as your hunter's luck gets worse, things just keep breaking worse and worse for them. And Evil Hat has actually added in a new mechanic in the book that they just released, where every class, or every playbook rather, has a specific thing that happens to them negatively when they use luck. Originally, it was only the Chosen who had that, but I actually don't have those on hand, and we didn't discuss using those, so I won't give everybody a punishment anytime you use luck right now.
Mine were poor. Did you want me to list them off, or do you have my sheet?
Oh, does it tell you what your ramification
Yeah.
for using luck is?
I had
Yeah.
violence, poor impulse control, and paranoia. And obviously, the more luck I use, the worse what happened.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, so with that point of luck, you get a whole...
What can hurt it?
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just, as you were looking at the questions, I was answering a question from chat. Yeah, they have a new book called Tome of Mysteries, where they add like 50 new mysteries that you can play through, as well as making some playbooks before that were just kind of online. They make them essentially official by adding them into that book.
So my first question would be, what can hurt it? And I'm trying to disassemble.
Yeah, I mean, you would have no problem. You can see that you can see where all the bolts are, where all the pieces are attached. So you, in the sense of what could hurt it, I'm trying to think how to answer that question. Yeah, you would not have any problem taking it apart. And just like before, anything that would damage metal would damage this as well if you were trying to destroy it without taking it apart. Intense heat or very sharp objects.
Okay, and then what is being concealed here?
So as you're looking at the machine and trying to get a sense of, okay, what am I going to do about this thing? I want to take it apart. You look down where the machine is attached to the ground, and it is all old wood. And you notice that one of the planks on the floor right next to this machine is stained very dark red, very old stain, and it is discolored from the rest of the floor, and the corner of it is loose.
Okay. I don't know what other people do, and I'm going to try to, as well as take apart the machine, whatever, at some point I'll try to lift up the board. But you can come back to me.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that Selena is in hand right now. Marshall has passed through underneath the creature to try to get to this machine and inspect it. And Tabby and Harper have been using their magic. So Selena, what are you trying to do? Right now you're in the grasp of this golem, but it seems to be stuck and kind of caught trying to get through this wall that it can't get through.
Selena is going to want to try and trying to think. Try and use magic to try and find a way to get it to let her go. Like maybe hurt it enough so that way it will want to release her and let her drop so that way she can get away. It's kind of what she's hoping to do. Like maybe heat it up or do something that could make him go ow and drop her.
Okay, so you're going to use magic to do that?
Yes, I am.
All right, roll it.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was. It is going to be an 8. Yes, 8.
All right, so from the list, what is your effect?
I guess what my effect is mostly going to be is inflict harm.
Okay, and what would your glitch be?
I guess with it, because of what she's trying to do to it, it's probably like she's trying to heat it up in a way, and it also hurts her. So she also takes a little bit of injury from her own magic trying to get it to let her go.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you lay your hands on the outside of this big mitt that has grasped you, and you start to channel heat through it. And
it's like hellfire through her hands.
Yes, exactly. That the hand starts to turn into slag, but you can feel it burning you where it is touching you. And so you take 1 point of damage. It is not armor defeating if you happen to have armor. And the hand slags away and drops you on the ground. So Tabby and Harper, you see her channeling this heat through, and she falls to the ground, and so now she is at the feet of this handless golem that is starting to turn back, realizing that it is not able to get where it wants to go. So it's getting ready to just start acting on instinct, unsure what to do.
I'm also going to try and use my unquenchable vitality to try and heal myself when I've taken harm.
Okay, so how exactly does that work?
Let's see. When I've taken harm, I got to heal myself. I have to roll cool on a 10 plus. I heal myself. I heal 2 harm and stabilize my injuries. 7 and 9. I heal 1 harm and stabilize. On a miss, my injuries worsen. So let's see how this goes.
All right, roll it.
Let's hope with my luck it goes up. That's a 9. I'm good. Woohoo!
Yeah, so as you even hit the ground, you are aware that, as you're heating this metal up, that it's going to hurt you as well. So you are kind of prepared as you hit the ground to try and regenerate yourself.
Do I just fall on my knees, or would I be able to find a way to land on my feet? That way it'll be a bit easier for me to run.
I think at the moment, you would not fall on your feet just from taking damage as a result of using the magic. That you're kind of, on a full success. I think you would have landed good, but you're kind of caught off guard for a moment.
Well, seeing this monstrous steel golem turn, missing one hand now. I've got a couple tricks left up my sleeve, but the main one is this magnum. So I'm just gonna level and fire 3 shots off.
All right, roll kick some ass.
Finally, 10.
So you level the gun at this creature and you fire off a couple of shots, and you hit pretty squarely in the same spot every time. And it seems like the first 2 kind of just pew pew off the metal. The second one does go through, and you can see that it destabilizes the creature a little bit at that joint. But the metal on metal doesn't seem to do a whole lot to it. What about Tabby?
So it doesn't do anything even with a 10?
It does. It just has armor against metal, so.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Tabby is going to rush towards Selena and is going to use protect someone to literally kind of not throw but push Selena out of the way of the grasp of this creature and put herself in front of where Selena was to make sure that Selena's out of the way.
All right, roll protect someone.
Die on the floor. All right, let me grab another one.
Don't die on the floor. We don't want that.
That is a 7.
All right, so you run up to Selena, trying to get her away from the feet of the golem. It seems to be in slightly rough shape. You saw the juju bag take a big chunk of the metal out of it. You saw its hand turn to slag by the heat. You even saw, after a couple of accurately placed shots, that some of the metal gets chipped away as he fires this gun at it. And it turns and it goes to smash down at her, and you are able to grab a hold of her and pull her back, but you do take the damage for her. It catches you on the shoulder, and you take 2 points of damage as you pull her away from the threat area of this golem, and the damage of it actually knocks you back as well. So now you are at least, an arm's reach, or rather its arm's reach away from it.
Okay. Alrighty.
Well, seeing as how magic is obviously doing more than 44 caliber slugs, I pull the pistol to me and wave my hand over the top, and I'm going to attempt to enchant it so it does extra harm, essentially.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, roll use magic.
Eight.
All right. So your effect is to give it the +1. What is your glitch?
It's going to draw immediate unwelcome attention.
All right. So yeah, you pass your hand over this gun, and you see that the tip of it starts to glow, and that glow passes down into all the bullets, and you fire one off, and it passes directly through the spot where you had landed those other 3 bullets before, and the metal is just gone as the magic passes through it. And it turns its focus towards you, but as it does, it buckles to the ground, and the pieces of this golem fall apart and seem to become inanimate again. Marshall, so you have started to take this machine apart. You have found kind of the press down, and you have disassembled that piece so that when you pull the lever down for the press, it doesn't do anything. And you've disconnected the hydraulics so you know that there's not enough pressure behind it. And you have started to pick at this piece of wood on the ground that is stained and discolored and loose from the rest of the floor. And as you pry it open, you see that about 3 feet down underneath this machine is what looks like an old cloth. It's red and yellow, and it is just covered in dust.
3 feet. Does it? Probably longer than I can reach. I'm gonna climb down into it and try to grab the cloth.
Yeah, no problem. You were able to climb down inside of this hole and grab a hold of the cloth, and as you pick it up, there is some definite weight to it.
Okay. I'll set it out. I want to get out of this little cubby, this danger zone here as soon as I can. So I'll toss it to the side and then climb out and investigate it once I'm back out.
Yeah, and you don't have any problem getting out. And about that time, Tabby, your wall comes down, and you guys can all see past the metal that Marshall is climbing out of the floorboards, and he has a bundle that he has thrown out, and he is walking over towards now.
Well, I definitely want to see what he's found, so.
Yeah, same. Make
All right,
a
so
beeline.
yeah, as you all come over, Marshall starts to unwrap this bundle, and inside you find a full set of human bones.
Oh, that's disgusting and amazing at the same time.
Well, those aren't recent.
Selena kind of gets on her knees and looks at the bones. Is she able to, she's seen human bones, she sees skeletons, she's probably made a few. Would she be able to know how old these particular bones are?
Roll investigate a mystery to inspect these bones and try to get some additional information from them.
Is it possible to help with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I would like to help, and I would also like to wager a bet, shot of whiskey, that it's they're about from 1909.
While that's going on, I'm gonna try to open up my sight and to see if I can see this spirit.
Okay.
Or after.
Yeah, I rolled a 10, but then I remembered I have a -1, so please, I hope you rolled well on that hell.
That's cool, right?
Yes.
All right, that would be a 7.
Yeah, so so that gets you to a 10. That gets you a hold 2. And for Marshall, as Selena starts to rummage through these bones, you open up your sight, and about 3 feet in front of you, you see the woman who was creating the tornado before. She doesn't look as fierce as she did before. She doesn't look angry, but she is wide-eyed, and she is sitting with her hands crossed over her stomach, and she is watching Selena go through these bones.
Selena, you should probably put the bones down now. You're upsetting the woman. Her spirit is angry or concerned that you're going rummaging through her bones.
There we go. Discord was being weird with my push to talk. Well, I pissed her off once. I'm not going to be doing that again. And it's Selena. It's cutting me off for some reason. But she sets the bones down.
Yeah,
I think that
rolled
Marshall-
a total of 8.
Okay. Marshall, I think the thing that you notice is that when she sets the bones down and starts to back away from them, that the anger in the woman's eyes starts to come back.
Oh.
And the concern and the calmness starts to leave.
What's wrong, Marshall?
I was wrong. That doesn't happen very often.
Selena
What?
goes back and she picks up the bones and looks at them.
Yeah, you should just pick them up and try to just hug them.
Maybe she wants you to understand what happened.
This is not the kind of boner I enjoy touching usually, I will say, for the record.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that one. So yeah, Selena, you have a hold 2 from your previous roll.
And I had a hold 1 from my roll
Yes.
for the site.
This was investigating mystery, right?
That's correct.
What can it do would be my question regarding the bones or this scene.
Yeah, so I think the thing I want to make sure, are you investigating the bones with her, or are you investigating the spirit?
No. The spirit, yeah. I was you're right. I forgot. The focus got put onto the bones. My focus was on her, and yeah, what can it?
Okay. So yeah, the thing that you realize, having, seen her now and seen how she looks different from when you saw her a couple moments ago in that window, is that she has the ability to manifest herself into this world, and for some reason she has a connection to the metal in this place, and she is able to change it and shape it and basically lash out with it, and that she is lashing out when people seem to be too far away from where she is now.
So I guess for mine, looking at the bones, it would be what happened here. Like, what happened to these bones? I guess is more of what she's looking at.
So the thing that you notice as you start to go through the bones, as you said, you are a succubus, part demon. You have dealt with bones a lot of all shapes and sizes. I tried not to make that joke, but there it is. And the thing that you see right away is that the clavicle and the shoulder are broken. And so you can tell that whoever skeleton this was, it must have gotten stuck in this machine that he has taken apart and very badly damaged, to the point that it was enough of a bleed out that they died. And that correlates with, as you're leaning down, you see the dark red stain on the wood right at the base of this machine.
And that's exactly how the other deaths have occurred. The ones that we've read about, at least.
That's
Which
correct.
was probably what she was doing. Oh, Selena's making connections. Okay. Don't know what to do for my second one.
The site says that I may communicate with the spirits that I see. Am I able? So far, I haven't been able to. Is this spirit? Do I think I'm able to?
Yeah, I think right now, because she is not in that partially materialized form, you could try to communicate with her. I think it might be a use magic to communicate with something you don't share language with.
Uh, 11.
Yeah, so it works with no problem.
What would you?
And I'm probably using telepathy.
What would you like us to do with the bones?
Please, I cannot rest here. This is not where I was supposed to be. It all happened so suddenly and there was no help. I want to be laid to rest.
Well, we're gonna help you. We'll take care of your bones for you. Where would you like to be laid to rest?
Someplace sunny. I miss the daylight. I used to love the daylight so much, and I haven't seen it in so long.
All right. Well, we'll do that for you.
And then I'll relay this back to the.
She just wants to be buried someplace in the sun.
What?
She's very sad. She wasn't supposed to die here.
What's her name?
Oh, well, I didn't ask. Excuse me, what is your name?
My name is Irene Elmore.
All right, Irene, we're gonna put that name on a tombstone or a headstone for you.
Thank you.
Do you think perhaps she was trying to have other people suffer the same fate as her, or to, I don't know, join her so she wouldn't be alone, perhaps? I don't know.
Yeah, well, in my experience with spirits, they're not really. Their minds aren't really there. So she was just angry and lashing out, would be my guess. Trying to get attention. But. Yeah.
Does she know what happened to the 3 people who were here the other night?
Can you tell us what happened to the Browns? They came in a blue car, with a woman.
I'll describe them from the article that we read, what they look like.
As you start to talk about these people, it almost seems like it is out of her control that she starts to shift and twitch and glow, and the other 3 start to see her appear in the world again, as if this anger is giving her the strength to remanifest herself into the real world.
Bad question. Bad question.
Oh no.
Sorry, I take it back. I don't need to know.
I'm having flashbacks to 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago.
Does she stop? Anything else happen? I'm gonna take a step back, just kind of wait.
Marshall, make her go away again.
Oh, would you like to be buried, like, at the beach? There's lots of sun there, or near the beach.
I think as you try to communicate with her this next time through telepathy, you can feel that she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
As she starts to materialize in the world.
Hey guys, let's just take the bones and get out of here.
Okay. Call
Uh,
the boss.
Good plan.
well,
I
we're
don't know what else. She's gone.
if Selena quickly looks around, is there more than one exit? Like, was there like a staircase or another door, or anything like that in this room?
Yeah, from the center of the room, you can see that on the back wall, you guys came from the north. You came through a door. There's also a set of stairs going up on the north wall. And then there's also a catwalk all the way around this on the second floor with stairs to your left that go up. And then at the front of the room, you can see that there are 3 doors, 2 of them with big glass windows that seem to go into interior rooms, and then doors that seem to go out the front. You think it must be the front door based off of where you guys initially came in and saw.
Selena would probably indicate to the front door, saying like, maybe we should try a different direction just in case. I don't know. There still is that other creature there, even though it might be dead, might come back.
It was in the basement.
Let's go.
Yeah. Back away quickly. Very
So-
quickly.
Selena will wrap the bones back up and take them with her.
Yeah, so you guys all head towards the front door, and you are able to pry it open and get outside. And you find yourself now directly in front of the large double door at the rounded, at the half circle drive with the little kiosk next to it.
Oh, well, that worked out, in a way.
We're not out of here yet.
And we still never found out what happened to the Browns, but I have a suspicion.
Yeah.
Would you like to go back and find out more?
No. I think if we clear this place and deal with the paranormal aspect, the mundane authorities can handle looking for bodies.
I agree. Would you like me to put the padlocks back on?
She can manipulate metal. I don't know if padlocks are gonna do
I
anything.
meant
We should-
for more of the we were never here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. If we have the time, I peek back in to make sure that angry ghost lady is not coming screaming directly at us.
She is not coming screaming directly at you, but she is watching very intently as to what you're doing, and she has not raised her hands yet, which is the move you saw her do when she started to spin all of the sheet metal, but her hands are in fists.
Selena is just holding up the bones, going like, look, see, we're taking the bones. We're going to take care of them. Don't worry.
Sunshine and puppies for everyone.
Do you think she wants to be buried here, or should we just go find out maybe
I
where?
would say
no.
somewhere far away from here.
Yeah, okay. Let's find out where Irene lived. We can look that up in the records.
Do you think she was a worker here? That's probably what happened. Or perhaps related to someone who worked here and was visiting.
Yeah, we can definitely check it out.
I might have
Um,
records of that.
Okay. Let's
yeah,
go back to the
I'm gonna-
warehouse.
Take a few minutes to put the padlocks back as we get ready to leave, just to, try and make sure that we were never here.
Yeah, roll it.
8. So I'm gonna do the get out and don't leave a mess.
Yeah, no problem. You were able to get the chains uncoiled and the padlock back on.
Do undetected. Let's go.
Yeah, so we find ourselves back at the warehouse after a small travel. I think that the thing that Marshall notices as you guys are traveling is that, you're headed back in that direction, and as you go, sometimes your eyes wander out the window of a car and you see, the car's reflection. And as you go, every time you pass a reflection, you see her image floating over the car every time you pass a reflective surface.
She's coming with us. So
Oh, no, really? The ghost whose skeleton we have Yeah.
Put her to rest first, then maybe? I don't know.
No.
We're trying to find the best place to put her to rest. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm still holding the skeleton. I feel very weird about this.
You can set it down on the table over there where the sun can hit it, and then we'll find out where she lived.
Yeah, I've been meaning to put up some wards and protections, but I haven't got around to it. So she can pretty much get in whenever she wants. So let's make sure she's happy for now while I look this stuff up.
You're the expert.
Yeah, so you guys, is someone gonna maybe sit with her outside, I suppose? Make sure no one comes along and steals these bones?
I definitely will, because I can see her. I'm probably the only one that can actually see her. So
Yeah. So you sit outside with her, and you can tell just being in the sun that it has calmed her a little bit. The spirit of her hovers over the bones the whole time, and she is just facing wherever the light is with her eyes closed.
okay. I'm just gonna nothing specific, but say we're trying to find out about your past. We don't know anything about you, your family history, whatever. We're gonna try to find, to the best of our knowledge, the best place to set you to rest. That's what I'm gonna try to communicate with her.
Okay, yeah, I think that in her current condition, she seems to process that and doesn't make any hostile move and just kind of quietly nods. So Harper, you are going to try and find some more information about her. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. About her, maybe if she's local, if she grew up here, how she would be connected to the mill or the factory, but mostly looking for a place where we could put her to rest, where she'll stay at rest.
I think that this being most of our first times playing this game, I think I'm going to give you a little direction here. I think that for what you're trying to figure out, it sounds to me like you want to know about her past, and she's someone that all you have is a name. I think that what it might occur to you to do is to use magic, and since you have the bones, to try and see another time or place, to see what happened to her.
That's a good idea.
I realize you don't have the options of use magic in front of you, so I want to give you that.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, no, it's there. I see it. I pulled it up on my phone a while ago. I don't know if I'm the best person to do that.
I could give it a go.
Yeah, work that demon juju.
Thank you. So Selena will. Marshall was with the bones, correct?
Correct.
She just kind of popped by Marshall, like, "Hello, need to borrow these? Thank you." She'll pick up the bones and head back in, and she's going to try and find a nice sunny spot or a very nice bright spot, and she'll go ahead and start like borrowing some materials from Harper, and the incantations that she speaks is a more guttural, not so sexy sounding voice, as she's speaking her more demonic language to try and activate the spell to look into this woman's past.
All right, roll use magic.
+10. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot that I have a +3 to weird, so 13.
Yeah, that is no problem. So, because you brought the bones inside, her spirit follows, and you lay the bones out and you start to speak these guttural words. And instead of a vision just for yourself, I think what happens is that she starts to glow, and it's almost like you're seeing her past projected on her so that everyone in the room sees it. And we see her. She's wearing very old clothes. And Harper, I believe, gets a shot of whiskey because it is about 1909. And she is mopping the floor. and it's a floor that you all recognize. It is the wood all around the machines. And she looks up and she sees that the clock says 5 o'clock, and everyone has left except for one person. And it is a very nicely dressed man in a tie with spectacles and a vest. And he is up on the second floor on the catwalk, and he is talking to her as she works. And she bumps into the machine, and very suddenly and violently it comes down on her, and it is her shoulder and her arm, and her hand is in the machine, and she is panicking, and we see the man panic, and he runs down and is trying to figure out how to get her out, and he finally releases the machine, and she falls to the ground, and there is way too much blood, and we see him trying to figure out what to do, and then he takes a step backwards, and we see him mouth, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and he just turns his back and walks away as her vision fades out as she slowly bleeds to death.
Well, that was intense.
Was Selena able to get a good look at the gentleman that was trying to help her?
Yes, she was. I think everyone in the room, actually, because of the way this vision was shown. And actually, Harper recognizes the face because he has done a little bit of research. And in his research of the opening of this factory, he recognizes Fayette Hanlon, who was the man who opened this in 1909.
Yeah, it was the owner, the fellow that originally opened this. Let her die.
She must have been the first one to die at the factory, and that's probably why he created this very good insurance
plan.
policy.
Out of guilt.
And probably
Yeah.
hid her body in a way. That's why she was buried underneath the machine, to hide the evidence.
Indeed.
Below the same machine that killed her.
And perhaps anyone who was left alone in that same area, she probably decided to make them suffer just as worse.
Poor thing.
I would still like to find out where she was from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tabby is absent-mindedly just running her hands along one of the shelves in Harper's.
Careful with that.
Just, sorry. Wasn't doing anything. Just looking.
Look with the, not with the.
Oh, but I like looking more with the instead of the
Just not my books.
Careful with what you say around me, Harper.
Awkwardly back up with book in hand.
So yeah, here we are. We've got the bones. We know at least what fate befell her. And, you know, she has said to you that the thing that she wants is to be laid to rest.
I got an 8 total on my lore library investigation.
Yeah, so that gets you a hold 1.
I know it's not on the list, but where's she from?
I think that, you know, once you have a name and you know that she has worked at this place, she is from here. She is from the town that you guys are in, not far away. And I think that a simple Google search with the name and the name of the place where she was working turns up that she was from this area and that she went missing. And that no one knew, everyone kind of assumed that at that time that she may have run away.
So he never reported her death, of course.
Is the family still living in the house? Does the name match?
No, it does not.
So we
Let's.
find a place nearby that's sunny on a hillside
Yeah.
overlooking a valley and give her a nice view for the rest of eternity and call it good, because otherwise we're going to have to burn everything.
Yeah.
Works
Or
for me.
there's gonna be people asking questions at the graveyard, like, why do we want to bury bones? So, yeah.
Then we don't
that'd be
bury her in a
awkward.
graveyard. We
Yeah,
just bury her
exactly.
somewhere more peaceful, where she won't be disturbed,
Yeah.
most likely.
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's go, shall we?
So yeah, I don't think it takes much time for you all to go out together and find a spot in the woods on a hill where you can put her to rest. You dig a hole and you place the bones in, and as you cover them, she manifests again, and you see her smile as the sunlight goes across her face, and then she dissipates and is gone.
Well, that's one part of the mystery solved. We still have the case of the Browns and the real estate agent. Worst case scenario, they're dead.
Well,
Yeah.
their
That's
car-
pragmatic.
Their car certainly is, or was.
If she's been buried and laid to rest, is the car golem still roaming the woods?
That's a good. I would assume that with her laid to rest and having no control, I assume with her having control over all those creatures. So it would be safe to assume. Again, I'm probably way off base on this, but it's safe to assume that those creatures are no longer moving around, and that we have free reign of the place.
That'd be my deduction as well.
So perhaps we should return now and try and find out what happened to the Browns?
Wouldn't hurt to check.
I mean, I feel like my part of this is done, but I'll come with you.
There might be more supernatural things aside from me.
Yeah, you don't count.
So you guys head back to the sheet metal factory. And as you had kind of predicted, yes, anything that seems to be metal that was under control before is dormant. There is not any of those little pieces that Marshall saw scattered throughout the air everywhere. There is no supernatural energy at this location anymore. And you guys go into the front door, and inside the front door, you were moving pretty quickly last time. You weren't kind of checking things out, but there are two offices right off of the front door. One of them looks like a break room. It's got a bunch of old couches and vending machines. And the other one is another office that has more file cabinets and a computer in it as well.
Well, I am gonna go look and see if the vending machine has a moxie. I'll be right back.
It does, but it's very old.
Still good.
I
Sheer
assume they
content.
keep.
They taste the same old as they do new. Not very good, but I like them. Just the same.
Any signs of traffic other than ourselves? Dust and footprints.
Yeah,
like
so you do see now that there are footprints in the dust that come in the front door. They go in towards the office, they go in towards the bake room, and then they head to the stairs in the back of the room.
Back of the main factory room.
Yes.
The ones that led up to the catwalk.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I say we go that way then.
Selena will follow.
Alrighty. I'm heading after you. I'll just make sure
Yes.
we're undetected in our entries and exits.
So you guys head upstairs and take the catwalk around, And at the back of the catwalk is a hallway. And this hallway leads to 3 doors.
Getting heavy game show vibes.
One for each of us.
That works.
Marshall, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm on my way. I want to choose the left one, and then I'll run.
Yep, so you got left, right, and center. Who's opening which door?
Well, Selena likes to be front and center, so she'll take the center one.
Alright, well, if Tabby doesn't make a move to the right, I will.
All right. So you all 3 swing your doors open to reveal what's behind. Marshall
Door
finds...
number 1!
Yeah, Marshall finds behind door number 1 the men's bathroom. Harper finds behind the right door the women's bathroom. And Selena finds a closet filled with cleaning supplies and 3 terrified people huddled together.
Oh, hello!
And they jump as
Behind her,
they
she's
look
a
at you.
demon.
I did not expect that.
I kind of did, and I love it. I love that it's the succubus who opens up for the humans.
You're all right. You're safe now. You can come out.
What happened? We were just taking a tour of this place, and we thought we were going to take some time and some money and reopen it, and then metal started flying everywhere, and
No
my
need to
husband...
worry about that. It's all done.
Oh, okay. Well,
Freak
how? What
industrial
happened?
accident. Freak industrial accident.
Yeah.
Well, I think that this place may not be for us. I think we might want to put our monies in another business. I don't like to help support the flying metal business.
Understandable. You know, I'd be happy to talk with you about other opportunities for investment.
Oh, yes. Are you big into philanthropy?
I am certainly into distributing wealth where it is needed.
Oh, well, yes. We would be grateful to talk to you, especially if you are the group of people that helped saved us from whatever was going on.
And that we are.
Oh, just some routine inspections, just making sure things were top notch, and we were able to fix a few bugs.
So is there anything else that you guys want to do inside of this building before you lead them?
I'm
Maybe,
good.
You know, how do you broach the subject of rewards gently?
Harper reads my mind.
It was no small expenditure to get this place locked down and up to safety code. So, and of course, it came out of our pockets. Just wondering maybe where I should send the invoice.
Oh yes, of course. Oh, I see. Are you all safety inspectors? Maybe we could hire you to look into our future endeavors instead of us going ourselves. Clearly, we are not prepared for it or educated in the way of what to look out for in the things that we invest in.
I think that could be arranged. Absolutely. We'd be happy to be at your service.
Yeah, but we're still going to need to get paid for this one.
Oh yes, of course. You can just send the invoice over to the foundation that we have, the Brown Foundation for City Restoration.
And you should include your medical bill for your leg that's gonna need to be fixed.
You know, that's a good idea. I hadn't even thought about having that insurance in so long. I just don't go.
And I think that as Harper is having this conversation with Marshall, limping out behind the now saved people, the camera pulls away from the metal factory as the door closes, and we fade to black. So, that brings us now to the end of session experience. So I'm going to ask you guys 4 questions. All right, you ready for them?
Sure.
And we're going to see if you answer yes or no to the question. So the first question, did you conclude the current...
You cut out at the end, but I'm assuming mystery?
Yes, did you conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
I'd say yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys figured out who was causing all of the problems here, and at least to an extent, what happened to them, why they were the way that they... Did you save someone from certain death or...
Absolutely.
I'd say yeah.
Yeah, I would say 3 someones. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Well, we did learn what happened to Irene. We learned that she was the first to die, and that Fayette Hanlon was partially responsible.
Yeah, we learned that this person who was running the steel mill, someone died under his watch, and for some reason he hid the body. Anything about the larger scope of the world, maybe your character's understanding of it, the supernatural, is there anything you think that you learned about the world?
Ghosts don't like to be buried where they weren't planning to be. Like, they don't like to have been stuck somewhere that they weren't planning to be buried. Like, she didn't like that she was stuck somewhere without sun and where she pretty much died without a proper burial. Ghosts don't seem to like that, and they kind of take it out on others.
Yeah, that her bones were essentially left unceremoniously buried, and that it kept her spirit here, and that for something was happening that was creating rage from her.
We learned that the spirits have like a keystone. I don't know the word for it. Like a hold, a bind that holds them in place. Like the small car and the factory itself, they couldn't pass by. But there's like a bind.
Yeah, that she kind of has a range of influence almost. And lastly, did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
Marshall has excellent spirit skills.
Well, we learned that Marshall's, in addition to being very, very interested in ants, is very, very interested in sheet metal crushing machines.
Yes.
Not very many people come into the library when I'm working, so I have lots of time to read.
So in the sense of, soul-defining moments or revelations about a character's past or why they do what they do, maybe not so much. But again, this is kind of the first adventure of these characters. And, even if that one is a no, we're kind of on the fence about that one. Regardless, a 3 to 4 gets everybody 2 experience points for this one.
Woohoo!
So if this was essentially an ongoing game, every time we got to the end of a mystery, we would go through these questions, and we might start to learn things about, Tabby. Why does Tabby steal? Well, what happened? We get a revelation about, when she was young, her family was having these issues, and so she learned thievery to survive. Or, we might start to get these kind of deeper undertones of why the characters are the way they are, giving us that opportunity to answer yes to that 4th question.
I will say there was a moment where Selena did pull back to help Harper as a way to repay him saving her life, I guess. I don't know.
That ties into what I was going to say. I did not envision Harper as a very brave or the kind of guy to put himself out there for other people. So when he ran, it was surprising to me. So
selfless.
He ran forward to help Selena. I was a little.
Oh yeah, I could see that. That if Harper has described himself as someone who is, really there just to do the job that he can do, and he's not there to help or protect anybody else. It's everyone for themselves. But then in the moment of seeing someone that he's at least familiar with in danger, that he throws himself in, we as kind of an audience might have learned that that Harper has a little more heroics inside of him than he wants to admit, or maybe even depending on the character that's in danger. If it was Marshall, for instance, that he's got a little bit of fatherly impulse towards Marshall or something like that.
Thank you so much, Rev. This was a blast.
I had so
Good.
much fun.
Good. I'm glad you guys
That was
did.
awesome.
So, do you guys have any questions about the story or the mystery? Anything that you want to know before we go?
Can we do it again?
Yes, absolutely. Keep your character sheets.
Yes. I don't think so. But
No,
go
I
ahead,
mean,
guys.
I would want to know how they're missing. We saw the article where they were missing the Browns, so they would obviously be found. But if any other investigations were going to be done on like the past history, or what would happen to this now that they're not buying it. But
Yeah, that's fair. So I think the thing that happens is that once the spirit is gone, and once the group starts to tell their story about what happened to them, and with the information that you guys have, that she was there and she was causing these deaths, I don't think that it is too much to put together with some thorough research that what happened was when they first opened in 1909, there was a lapse before they had the insurance policy, and that she died days before the insurance policy went into effect. And in that moment, he made the decision to hide her corpse, to hide her death, because he knew that if he reported it, it would shut this place down, and the other 80, 90 people who require this place for their livelihood would have all lost their jobs. And so he thought he was doing, in that moment, the thing that was best. And he was so sorry. And he set up this insurance policy for her to cover anything like this happening again. And in fact, her family was very well off. Like, they never wanted for anything. And it was all anonymous donations that would have been very hard to track. And that's actually what caused her spirit to get angry and start to come back, is that when people would die unrelated to her curse, she would see the families getting this money. She would see people getting funerals, getting laid to rest, and it made her envious. It made her jealous. And so the kind of through line is that, and someone said this early on, that all of the people who died that closed the place down, had that little gap, who were people in charge of running the safety, were all, in fact, blood relatives of the original owner, Fayette Hanlon. And that we never really had a chance to talk with the people who were kidnapped, the Browns, but Odetta, her maiden name is Hanlon. And so it was her that this creature was after when she happened to stumble into this place, trying to reopen it to get the family name back into it and get this helping out the city again.
cool.
Gotcha.
Excellent.
I love it.
Excellent.
I dig it. I love it.
Well, so thanks everybody for joining us. Again, this has been Monster of the Week. We are here with the Nerdsmith subdrive. So please subscribe. There are a ton of great shows involved with Nerdsmith, both streaming and podcasts and everything else you could want. They've got some great sponsors. I know that they will be back again tomorrow with more of the subdrive, more games, more different shows. Is there anything, Tessa, that you want to throw out there before we sign off?
Really quickly, I want to give everybody a chance to say who they are, where they're from, and then we will pick our World Anvil winner. So make sure that you enter the contest with ! Hunter while we go ahead and do a quick where everybody can. Let's start with Rev. Rev, where can people find you?
Yep, so I am Rev. Again, I am the keeper of a Monster of the Week podcast called The Crit Show. We have been out about a year. You can find me at Rev Deschain on Twitter, and you can find us literally anywhere you can download podcasts. It is The Crit Show. The end.
And Lucky, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter as the infamous Eel, and coming soon, the Forlorn Hope podcast, also on Twitter at Forlorn Podcast.
Mike, I know that you are off the grid when it comes to
Yes.
social media, but you can still talk about your other projects where people can find you on
Yeah,
Nerdsmith.
I'm on Shenanigans, which is going to, I guess, air again on, I think, the 30th.
Yep.
And then moving forward on Tuesdays, and Countless Heroes on any given night till that show wraps up.
And Gabby?
Like I said, I am Gabby. You can find me here. You probably can't see it. There we go. I spelled it out for you. That way you wouldn't have a hard time finding it. You can find me there on Twitter mostly. I am on Countless Heroes with Tessa and Mike. I almost forgot your name. I'm sorry. I also did do a little bit of collaboration, creative work on Countless Heroes. I did help create a few things like one of the islands and one of the player races, which was a lot of fun to work on. That's about it. That's about it.
Oh, about it. You only created, one of the playable races that is our favorites. I mean, what? We don't have favorites. And I am Tessa. I am a director here at Nerdsmith. You can find me on shows such as Alice in Underland, PI, which is another Monster of the Week podcast, Countless Heroes. You can also find me on In Vain Walpurgisnacht, which is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition show. You can find me on Shenanigans and also find me on WA&D Radio. So I only do a couple of things, just a few. But you can also find me on Twitter at SelfkeyDreams. I am, as always, your RPG mom and available to chat anytime. So I think Logan is going to go ahead and do the giveaway here, and then afterwards we're going to be heading on over to Raid Saving Throw Show, so please stick around so we can give them a big Nerdsmith cheer when we head over, okay? Alright, Logan, roll that beautiful bean footage of who our winner is.
What?
I'm listening to a lot of Mabim Bam over the last couple of days. Rez in 360 has won the giveaway. Thank you, Rez. Not to be confused with Rev, who is DMing currently. But yeah, stick around, folks. We're going to head on over to Saving Throw Show. Go ahead and give them big shout-outs and hellos from Nerdsmith, and please stick around. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching. Thank you guys for playing, and Rev, thank you for DMing. This has been fantastic.
Yep, a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys to everybody. It was wonderful.
5, 4.
So be sure to
3,
come back tomorrow
2,
at 7 p.m.
1.
for Kyle's
Oh, I
There Are
forgot that.
Ghosts Here. Bye, everybody.
And you're out.
What did you forget?